All right, good evening, traders. Today is September 7th, 2023. We're going to do the market wrap up. Let's go take a look at the charts. Here's SPY, and we'll look at the daily. Daily, we have a green candle bounce with a lower high and a lower low, and a red trend indicator on SPY right at the midpoint, and minor support right there for SPY, bouncing possibly off of minor support. Still got that MMRP setting up. So there is the SPY chart. We'll put in some trend lines and slap one in there and create a parallel and put it up here. So there's SPY. Now let's go take a look at QQQ. Here's QQQ doing pretty much the same thing, bouncing off of minor support right here. Again, lower low, lower high difference. Trend indicator's green on QQQ. QQQ looking a little bit more bullish than the SPY. And you can see not nearly as close to the midpoint as the SPY right there. So there's QQQ. Now let's take a look at FNGU. And we'll take a look at that. And here's the pullback for FNGU. Quad lines in. Coming back to the midpoint. Kind of bouncing on a little bit of minor support. Not much support there, but bouncing off the midpoint. Stuck in this channel. We'll see how far it wants to move up or down. We can put a trend line in there and see what direction it wants to head. So here is a trend line for FNGU. Create a parallel and let's see if we can get it into a channel here. So we'll see what happens with FNGU tomorrow, but kind of a pullback, but notice price closing up over the trend indicator, but not over the 8 EMA or the 3 EMA. Not looking good for FNGU or SPY. Red trend indicator not quite closing as bullish as we'd like. QQQ, again, not closing as bullish as we'd like over the T line. But all in all, still got the higher low so far. We'll see what happens. All right, so let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Here's Diamond Dow, and the quad line's in, closing underneath the midpoint, and an inside day as compared to the price action, not the body, but the price action with a higher low and a lower high. Notice the 3 has crossed underneath the 8, and the trend indicator's red. So not looking good on diamonds. In the middle of a triangle here, waiting to play out. So there's diamonds. Let's take a look at IWM. Here's IWM. Here is the pullback underneath the midpoint. IWM very weak, breaking this uptrend that was a possibility there. Closing candle below yesterday's body. Notice the lower high and the lower low. Red trend indicator. 3 EMA has now crossed underneath the 8 on the IWM. Now let's take a look at T2122. T2122 stuck in the sell zone almost all day. For a brief moment in time, we were in the oversold zone. So we'll see how that wants to close out for tomorrow. Close out the week for tomorrow. Let's look at T2123, 15-minute. Selling all day long. Red trend indicator. Just a bear flag right there. Down and over to the left, to the right. On the 3-bar passing underneath the rising 200. We'll see if there's going to be any rubber band effect tomorrow. But red trend indicator all day for T2123 3-bar chart. Now let's take a peek at the dollar. Here's the dollar moving up again, ratcheting higher and higher and higher. 105.04. So dollar still juicing up to the upside. Here's the higher low making the higher high. I'm looking at these highs, and they seem to be getting lower and lower, not as deep as they used to be. Possibly a topping tail right there. So we'll see what happens with DXY in the US dollar. For economic calendar, we've got tomorrow we're going to have Empire State Manufacturing at 8:30. Import-exports prices 8:30. Industrial production 9:15. Consumer sentiment at 10. So we'll see what they want to do on this options expiration Friday. So let's go take a look at, let's go see what max pain's going to be for tomorrow. Let's set that up, and we'll take a look at the earnings calendar. Again, for tomorrow on Friday the 8th, we're going to have Kroger. Kroger's going to report in the morning. Not a big mover, but the big one's coming Monday. That's Oracle, and they're going to report on Monday evening. All right, let's take a look at max pain for the SPY for tomorrow. September 8th is 445. We're right at 445 right now, so we'll see if they're going to move it in one direction or the other. We got a 2 to 1 put to call ratio. They may do a short squeeze. We'll see what they want to do. So that's on the agenda for tomorrow. Now let's take this down, come back and take a look at some of our other charts. All right, so let's take a look at GLD. So here's GLD putting in a red candle, a higher low, and a lower high. So inside day for GLD on the sharp pullback there. Take the quad line, stick them in. Kind of hanging up here just right at the midpoint for GLD. SLV, put the quad lines in, and it looks like they're under the midpoint. Really sharp pullback for SLV right there. Lower high and lower low. So not doing quite as well as GLD. So there's precious metals. USO putting in an inside, well, slight, that's an equal low and a lower high. So looking for a bull flag to form over here, over to the right. Like to see this cool off for another couple weeks. USO, abnormally bullish still on USO. UNG, here's nat gas, getting a little bounce there. And let's put a trend line in. Let's drop one from here all the way into there. So closing back inside the uptrend line. So good sign for UNG. Still a whole lot of work to do. If we put in the quads, you can see they still got a lot of work to do just to get up to the midpoint there. So we'll see what they want to do tomorrow. UNG still weak. Now let's take a look at SMH. SMH putting in a bottoming tail right here at the trend line. So we'll see what they want to do. Notice lower high, lower low. And the body just closed up there. Doesn't mean it can't come further down. Quads right into the uptrend line and the midpoint. This is the pullback for SMH. Scroll out a little bit. You got a bull flag. It's a really sloppy bull flag, but you can see here we got a pullback. Hopefully this is going to create the higher low. We'll see what SMH wants to do tomorrow. XLF. Let's go look at the financials. Put the quads in. Closing above the midpoint. That's a good move for the XLF. Price action, higher low, but also a lower high. 3 is crossed down underneath the 8. Price, the 8 and the 3 are all underneath the 17 EMA trend indicator. Not looking good for XLF, not looking good for IWM. And the only one that's looking good is probably SMH. So let's go back and look at IYT. Here's the transports. Oh my goodness. Transports just getting hammered right down to support here today with a lower high and a lower low. So there's IYT with a lower high, lower low, just getting hammered down. Totally bearish Nothing really to report there. Let's extend this trend line and see where, oh, so we got a trend line support area bounce possibly showing up on IYT. So we could get some bounce tomorrow. We've got IYT showing it's in a location to bounce if it wants to. We got XLF in a location of midpoint if it wants to bounce north. So there's XLF, IYT, and SMH. SMH into the midpoint, also looking for a good place to bounce, and it is. So there could be a bounce tomorrow. We'll see with these bottoming tails and 2-to-1 put to call ratio. So we'll see what they want to do. There's SMH, IYT, and that's the market, folks. Did the precious metals, we did the oil and gas, and we did the semiconductors, the transports, and the financials. So there you go. I'm going to hang it up for right now. I just want to thank everybody in YouTube land to subscribe, and please take us up on the trial that's down below in the description. And if you use promo code BYOB50, you can get a trial subscription for the low price of $24.50. So just letting you know, if you want to use that today, it's available at this time. Don't know how much longer it's going to last, but it is in the description. So that's it for YouTubers. Please subscribe, give me the thumbs up, leave a brief comment, something nice. Appreciate your attention. I'm glad you all enjoy my videos. I hope to do a whole lot more. And this is it for today. I'll see everybody tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Have a wonderful evening.